The first 3 episodes of season 4 of The Boys has just been released. Let's talk about it right now. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I am your host, Frank Zankin, an award-winning screenwriter, novelist, and comic book writer, as well as a filmmaker myself. Just finished up a film in LA and figuring out what we're going to do next. I had a couple of meetings coming up, so it's all looking good. And just waiting for that last strike to get through, too. We have one more strike coming up. All right, but in the meantime, give me that like, give me that subscribe. I am trying to grow the channel out. Thank you for spending time with me again. And remember, too, that we're in our final week of Myth Lords on Backer Kit. And this is a deck builder area control game done by artist Mark Spears, who's done a bunch of comic book covers, anywhere from Spawn to Spider-Man to Power Rangers, you name it. And the artwork here is phenomenal, and the game is easy to learn. There's plenty of how-to game videos as well, and we'll talk about this a little at the end. But if you want to jump in there, we are fully funded. The link is in the description below, so definitely check out that. And we have like a promo video and how-to videos and everything else on there. And the game itself is only $35, so it's not expensive. All right, so let's jump into The Boys, Season 4, Episodes 1 through 3. Showrunner is Eric Kripke. I really like Eric Kripke. I didn't realize that, he disliked certain members of the community as much as he does, but he has come out and said so. And he's done, of course, Supernatural. He did one of my favorite shows too, which was Timeless, and which had a very small run. But of course, Supernatural went for a very, very long time. And even when they, I guess in the last season, I think it was the last season when they race swapped the Nazi character from the comics. He had anybody that were big fans, which I am not a big fan of the comics by Garth Ennis. I've never read any of them, even though I am a comic book reader and collector. The Boys is something I just never got into. And so when they race swapped it, I didn't even notice, but there were a lot of people that did. And Eric Kripke basically came out and said anybody that has a problem with it can go fuck themselves. Pretty much he said that. And there's a lot of people that are talking about this season that it's getting over politicized. And I do agree with that it has become semi-woke. And I'm still watching it, but I'm cringing at pieces now, which I never was before. So I'm really hoping he brings it back to center. That's make fun of everybody. That's fine, but don't go in one direction. So this starts out after Billy kind of missed the mark, I guess, with Soldier Boy and things to that effect, and now we're kind of picking up from there, and Homelander is feeling a little bit more mortal. He's starting to see hair from certain areas become not only falling off but graying, and so he has a problem with mortality, and which is why he is trying to live very vicariously through Ryan, and Ryan is his biological son, but the mother was Billy Butcher's ex. And the cast all returns, and the cast is all really good. Everybody pretty much fits their mark pretty well. I do agree with a lot of some of the reviews that are out there. First of all, if you haven't seen Anthony Starr in the first series I saw him in, which was Banshee on Showtime, you should see that show. That show is incredible, and the whole cast is incredible in it. And I missed that show. It had some really good fight scenes and stuff like that. But so now Billy is also dying. I'm not really going to do any real spoilers here, but you find that out pretty quickly that he has a tumor and that he only has a couple months to live or whatever else. and he is still trying to go after Homelander, but he's also trying to get Ryan away from him, and he's trying to be a father figure to Ryan so that Homelander doesn't corrupt him, because that's the situation that they're in right now, is that they're afraid that Ryan is going to be corrupted and become the new, even worse Homelander. In fact, they gave him a suit and they called him Homeboy. I mean, some of this stuff is funny. I'm still enjoying it. I'm just getting cringes at certain points. I do agree with everyone that Yui, and now it's no longer Starlight. It's now Annie January, although she does push herself back into the superhero game later on in those 3 episodes. But she got on Megyn Kelly because Megyn Kelly showed physical pictures of her with her plastic surgery done, and Erin Moriarty jumped on Megyn Kelly for that, and saying that it wasn't true. But when you see her, it is absolutely true that you cannot hide the nose job that she had, or the whatever lips, whatever surgery that she had to her lips done, or whatever procedure. She definitely had work done. There is no doubt. I did prefer her without the work. Normally I do, no matter what. Whenever women get work done, it's just so obvious, and they end up looking worse. And because now every time I see her with this pencil nose, I'm just like, what did you do to yourself? But anyway, getting past that, let's get into what the stuff I don't like, and the stuff I call woke. And now that Maeve is no longer in the series, Eric Kripke had to go out and say, all right, our gay character is no longer here. Let's pick someone else out to be gay. I mean, it's so obvious and so in your face and so out of the blue that they picked Frenchie when they've been cultivating this relationship between Frenchie and Kiriko for the last 3 seasons. Now suddenly they're in the friend zone with one another, and they have a lot of chemistry, those two. And now they say, no, we're going to make Frenchie gay. It's just so out of left field. I had no problem with Maeve being gay. It made sense, being, the Amazon and stuff like that, kind of the Wonder Woman figure. I had no problem with that. But now, when you just kind of throw this in there, where it makes zero sense for the characters, that's what we call woke. When it's just so overt that this was changed purely for DEI. And it's that nobody can say that it wasn't. Nobody can say this was ever coming in any other of the seasons. And it's cringe, because it just doesn't work for the character. It just doesn't work. And the other part was, then they brought in 2 new female characters. I have no problem with them bringing in 2 new female characters. That's not the problem. The problem is that one of them is, I don't know if I want to call her. Is she the right winger? I don't know what the hell she is, but it's Firecracker, and the other one is Sister Sage. Now, one of the other YouTubers said they really like that character. I absolutely abhor that character, and I can't believe they actually created a character like that, because it is a stereotypical angry black woman. Every other word out of her, every time she's on screen, she has to say the words black and racist. She has to say it. I don't know why, but it puts me off, because I have written now 3 leading black female characters, and I never lean into race, ever, because the identity of the character is not this color of their skin. It's just not. They are people. They just happen to have a darker skin color than the other counterparts. What's the big deal? I mean, yes, they have a different upbringing or whatever else, and a different, culture and things to that effect, but they're still people. why does everything out of her mouth have to be, oh, it's you just can't handle, a black woman being smarter than you. I mean, that's an actual line from the show. I know that was probably written by Desperate Chow, or what, not Desperate Chow, Jessica Chow, who is also the writer on She-Hulk. I don't know why they would bring in a failed writer from She-Hulk to write The Boys. It just makes no sense. But anyway, I'm glad she's getting work, I guess. Whatever. But yeah, so I have a real problem with her because she comes off with a constant attitude, and I know that's probably her character. So if you want me to dislike her character, you're doing a good job, because I dislike her character. And now she's starting to have a relationship with Deep, and it was kind of gross, actually. Kimiko is still one of my favorite characters. At least she's kind of still on the level, although she's like now pushing Frenchie into this relationship, which makes no sense, because she openly says, "You and me are not happening." So it's like, why did this suddenly happen? I don't know, because it felt like this was all growing, and then went, the character that's playing, the actor playing Ryan, is really good. So those are my two problems with it, but the action is still there. Billy Butcher's character, A-Train, what they're doing with A-Train, and Laz Alonso's character of Mother's Milk, which I really hate that name. It doesn't fit him at all. And Anthony Starr is still knocking out of the park. Carl Urban still knocking out of the park. I mean, they're still doing great jobs as actors. The material they're getting is, I would say, not as good, but I think the story is still moving, and I think that they're going to end at season 5, I believe. So they're going to have to crescendo this eventually and make this a big battle eventually. But I like the arc that they have Homelander on. I like the arc that they have Ryan on right now, and Billy Butcher's relationship with Ryan and how that's pushing everything. The friend zone situation with Huey and Starlight doesn't really work. I don't know why those two don't have any chemistry anymore. They did at one time, but it's like they don't anymore. It's very strange. So I really hope that they get back to trying to create that chemistry. And I like what they're doing with A-Train as well. Finally, getting somebody to give, some kind of regret for some of the things that they've done, and try to do what's right, and have some kind of redemption arc. Black Noir is very funny now because the original Black Noir is gone. They just hired somebody to be in the suit, so he's talking and everybody just tells him to shut up. I thought this was very interesting. They tease the Vought on Ice or whatever it is, and then we actually see them rehearsing and everything else for Vought on Ice or whatever they called it, and there was some nasty death scenes in there. I won't tell you what happens, but I was like, wow. When they do death scenes in here, they do death scenes. That's for sure. But I am waiting to see a little bit more, super on super action here. We don't get to see that very much. It's just, bugs on a rug situation, where they're just killing humans and, not even giving a crap, which is part of Ryan's arc. Anyway, I suggest seeing it. Just know that they kind of off-kiltered it a little bit for their message, a little bit more than the other seasons. And I still like what they're doing. I just wish they would get back to center. All right, so let's see what happens with the rest of the episodes. And again, the acting, you can't beat some of the acting in here, especially for a superhero show or a anti-superhero show. All right, guys, remember to like and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up. Ring that bell, ding, ding. I'm trying to grow the channel out. And remember, too, that Myth Lords, we're on our final week of crowdfunding. So definitely check that out in the link below, where you can play as the classic monsters with, Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, Creature from the Deep, etc. And then there's additional characters like the Bride of Frankenstein, of course, Dracula's Bride, so the Mummy, Mr. Hyde, etc. They're all in here. And then we also have our Oz expansion, where you can also play as Dorothy and the Wicked Witch, and we have the other witches as well, and of course the Tin Man, Cowardly Lion, Glinda, all that stuff, and Toto too. So definitely check all that out in the link below. It's not expensive, and if you can jump onto it, now's the time, because we are still unlocking free stuff. All right, check out some other videos, and I will see you guys on the next episode. Thanks again.